Hi, everyone. Welcome to San Francisco's Kindergarten to College December workshop. My name is Elisa Rodriguez Fury, and I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for the San Francisco Kindergarten to College program. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. With me, I have Program Manager Mohan Kanungo, who is going to be supporting us in the chat. And I also have Ala Rodriguez, Communication Specialist. Ala, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ala Rodriguez. I do communications here for the K2C program. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Ala is also going to be supporting us with technicalities with this workshop. So thank you, everyone, for being here today. Before we start, I would like to just go through some housekeeping items. So what to expect during today's workshop? First of all, you're going to be receiving a $20 incentive that will be credited for one of your students' active K2C account for participating today. If you sign up in the first 100 people for this workshop. So today's workshop is being recorded. This recorded workshop will be available on our website at k2csf.org. Also, we respect all participants in this convening today and want to create a safe space for all. By default, all participants will be muted and video is disabled. Video will be on for speakers only. To activate live transcription, select the More or three-dot buttons at the bottom of your screen and click Live Transcript. If you want to participate in Q&A, please select the chat button at the bottom of your screen and send your questions to everyone. You might also use the raise hand feature and wait to be called upon. Thank you for being here today again. And before we begin, I would like to start with a poll. So I'm going to go ahead and launch it now. And the questions for this poll is, the first one is, do parents need to provide paperwork to kindergarten to college to open a savings account for their student or students? Please go ahead and respond. And the second poll is, does K2C open accounts for K-12 students with 50 seats for every student attending SFUSD? I'm going to give one more minute for this. Again, first questions, do parents need to provide paperwork to kindergarten to college to open a savings account for their students? You can answer yes or no. And second question, does K2C open accounts for K-12 students with 50 seats for every student attending SFUSD? You can answer yes or no. So we have some people answering. I'm going to give a few seconds more for you to respond. First questions, the parents need to provide paperwork to kindergarten to college to open savings account for their students, yes or not. And second, does K2C open accounts for K-12 students with 50 seats for every student attending SFUSD? And it seems that everyone answered. So I'm going to end the poll now, and I'm going to share the results with you. So the first question is, no, you actually do not need to provide any paperwork to kindergarten to college to open a savings account for your student. Okay, we open the accounts automatically. And the second question is, K2C open account for K-12 students with 50 seats for every student attending SFUSD? And the answer is yes. So 95% of you respond correctly. We open the accounts for every student with $50. Thank you for participating, and we're going to go ahead and start our presentation. So the agenda for today, we're going to discuss our mission and programs. We're going to talk deep about kindergarten to college, how K2C works, and the benefits of saving with K2C. Then we're going to discuss the 2022-2023 school year incentives and how to make deposits. We are going to discuss how to view your K2C balance online, what happens after your student graduates from K2C, and examples of higher education expenses, and then at the end, how you can stay connected with K2C. So as mentioned before, kindergarten to college opens accounts for every student that attends San Francisco Unified School District in grades K to 12. as of fall 2022. So you automatically will have an account open for your student if your student is attending any grades in K-12 with $50. You do not need to provide any paperwork to us. We work directly with the school district to open accounts for your students. The program started 11 years ago, 12 years ago, actually. So we're very excited to have our first cohort of students graduating this school year. So the program was created in a future worth saving for in a premise and a research study that shows that, having a savings account in a student's name makes the student 7 times more likely to attend college. Also, as little as $500 in savings make a student 3 times more likely to attend college and 4 times more likely to graduate from college than a student that don't have any savings or accounts for college at all. So the odds increase for your students. These are the accounts features for K2C. There are no fees associated for having an account for college with kindergarten to college. There are no impact on public benefits if your family is applying to medical, Medicare, or any other kind of public benefits. They don't have to report this account when applying for these public benefits. We have several deposit channels, and we're going to go more in depth with that later in this presentation. These are dedicated college savings for post-secondary education. That means that there are deposit-only accounts, but we allow emergency withdrawals in case families have a financial hardship. And you can also view your account online. You can access your student account online by registering, creating a username and a password. We're also going to go over that soon. So these, you can see the K2C school year communication. So what happens? How do we open the accounts for your student? We work directly with the school district, with the enrollment office. So we request SFUSD fall enrollment data in September. And then by October, we open accounts for new students, and we also engage students that left the school district. In November, we mail families a welcome letter. All new families with new accounts new families in the district, we open new accounts and we send them welcome letters to your home address. But we also engage families through text messages and emails to let them know that we opened their accounts. In December, families also receive activity reports, but these are the families that already have an account with kindergarten to college. If families have been saved in the K2C account, you will receive, or not, if you haven't saved, you also will receive an activity report with information about your savings and your contributions, but also the incentives that you earn with the program. And again, we also send notices via text messages and emails. In January, we request SFUSD spring enrollment data again, because as you know, students come to the district at different times. So we want to make sure to open accounts for all the students that enter during different times in the district. And by February, we restart this cycle again in spring. We work with school ambassadors, community partners, with SFUSD announcements to support student and parent engagement across the district. So here you can see an example of the welcome letters and activity reports that we send to your home address. So if you're new to kindergarten to college, you're going to receive a welcome letter like the one that is shown on the left side of your screen. You will see your account, the account of your student, account number. We will welcome you to the program. We're going to be explaining how you can start saving and how to make contributions into your account. And then an activity report like the one that you see on the right is for families that already have an account with K2C. They are not new to the program. And then we show if you have done any contributions or received any gifts, they're going to be shown here, as well as the incentives and scholarships that your students have earned with K2C, and then the total save. So wait for these letters. And our second part of the presentation, we're going to talk about the school year incentives and how to make a deposit. So you can earn free money by if you start saving into the K2C account. We have the school year incentives. Every year, these school year incentives might change depending on funding available. So we have this $20 Save Now bonus. This is only for new accounts. If your student is new in the district and we just open the account for your student, if you make any deposit to your student's account, we will put another $20 into the student account. We also have the $20 match incentive. So what this means is that, and this is for every account, not only new accounts. So the $20 match incentive, we will basically match dollar for dollar that you put into the account up to a $20 per school year. Then we have the growth incentive. So families that have saved into the K2C account, they receive a small amount of a growth incentive into your student's account. And then we have the 20 register or view balance online. So by registering online, you create a username and a password, and then you will be able to access your student account and see everything there, contributions and incentives. And if you access your account a year after you initially register, we will do another $20. So this is the 2022-2023 school year incentives. We also have a special incentive called equity incentive. This incentive is only for select schools that you see at the bottom for first, second, third, and fourth graders. So it's not for all the schools. It's for, again, first to fourth graders at Bryan, Carver, Cesar Chavez, Charles Drew, Bret Hart, Malcolm X, John Muir, Paul Revere, and Sanchez. So how does this incentive work? We already deposited 150 on top of the initial 50 that you receive when we open your account, if you have a student in any of these grades of any of these schools. And your student can earn $300 more now just by making 2 deposits of at least $5. We will put another 150 for each of these deposits, up to 2 times. This is going to give you a $500 save for your college aspirations. So this is again only for select schools. Equity incentive. And now we're going to go in how to make a deposit. So there are 4 different ways to make a deposit. The first one is by visiting a Citibank branch. You have to bring your ID, your K2C account information, and cash. The second one is by mail. You can send your deposit by mail with a check. You can also send a money order. We can provide you an envelope for that, a prepaid envelope. The third is to do a direct deposit. So we have a form in our website that you download and fill out, and then you provide to your employer, and they can do deductions from your paycheck. That goes into the K2C account. And then the fourth one is via bill pay. Excuse me. So you go to your local bank or credit union's website to set up recurring bill pay or one-time payment. And I'm going to describe each one of these in detail. So if you go to any Citibank branch, you can make a cash or check deposit in person. So if you go to any of the Citibank branches, make sure to bring your student's name, your student account number, and your contribution amount. You have to make sure to also make the deposit in the deposit ticket or deposit slip that is for K2C, not the regular deposit slips that Citibank has for regular accounts. So just make sure to ask the person at the bank to provide you with a deposit slip that the one that like the one that is showing on your screen. So for cash deposit, you might also need to provide one valid government issue photo ID and other identifying information. For a check or money order deposit, you will only need your K2C account ID, card information. And this is the list of the different Citibank branches that are in San Francisco. They are all across the city, from Castro, Marina, Cathedral Hill, Chinatown, Potrero Hill, Excelsior, Banes, West Portal, etc. So you can go to any of these branches to make a deposit in person. You can also send your deposit by mail, and we do provide prepaid envelopes, so you don't have to buy stamps. All you have to do is email us and let us know how many of these you need, and we will put them on the mail for you. So you can, again, just make a check or money order payable to the student's name and includes their account number found on the K2C account ID card in the memo section of the check. So you can see it circled in red below. Just make sure to add the account number here and the student name and the total contribution you're making. And you can send it to the address that is here at the bottom of this screen, City Youth Savings Account. Just want to make sure that when you do a deposit by mail, do not send cash, okay? Always send a check or a money order. You can also do a direct deposit. So direct deposit is basically when you do direct deductions from your paycheck that go into the K2C account. So payroll with your employer can, deduct this in a monthly way or every 2 weeks, however you feel comfortable for you. So you can set up direct deposit. You simply download the form from our website. It is called K2C Direct Deposit Form, like the one that is shown on the screen on the right side. And just make sure to fill in your student's account number and the bank routing number as provided on your K2C account ID card. So just once you complete it, you just submit to your company's payroll department or other payrolls such as Social Security. And then the 4 is via bill pay. So to make a deposit using bill pay services, Kindergarten to College has set up a merchant account with Citibank's online bill pay called Kindergarten number 2 College account. So with this service, you can set up payments with your financial institution. You need to contact your financial institution about setting up bill pay and look for the merchant Kindergarten number 2 College. Again, you can add your student's account number to your pay list. Remember to use numbers only without dashes or spaces. And choose whether you want to make a one-time or a recurring payment. And those are the 4 different ways that you can make a deposit. So let's do a second poll right now and see how you can answer this question because we just already went through content. So hopefully you get it right. Our second poll, I'm going to go ahead and launch it. So you can see here the first statement is, K2C will credit a 20 incentive when you register online to access your student's account for the first time. Is this true or false? And the second one is equity incentive eligible students can get 300 or more by making 2 deposits of at least 5 each. So I want to just make sure that you pay attention to this presentation. Number 1, again, is K2C will credit a 20 incentive when you register online to access your student account for the first time. Is this true or false? Number 2, equity incentive eligible students can get 300 more by making 2 deposits of at least 5 each. Okay. Gonna give few more seconds. It seems that everyone here is participating. Thank you for doing that. Let me read it one more time before I close it. Number 1, K2C will credit a 20 incentive when you register online to access your student's account for the first time. Is this true or false? Number 2, equity incentive eligible students can get 300 more by making 2 deposits of at least 5 each. Is this true or false? Great, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. And I'm gonna share the results. So the answer to the first statement is true. K2C will credit 20 incentive when you register online to access your student account for the first time. So 92% answered correctly. And statement number 2, equity incentive eligible students can get 300 more by making 2 deposits of at least 5 each. That is also true. 75% answered correctly. Thank you for participating. Excellent. So now please pay very close attention because I'm going to teach you how you can view your students' K2C balance online, how to register your account online, how you can link to other students' K2C accounts, and how you can grant access if you have students that are 13 years or older. So to register or view balance online, you can get $20 if you do this for the first time. So again, we're going to check and learn how to register one or multiple accounts under one sibling initial registration. And then we're going to discuss how to grant access to your 13-year-old student. Are you all ready? Okay, let's go. So if you want to register and view your student balance online, please go to our website, k2csf.org. And you're going to click on the Register and View Balance Online button, okay? And it's circled there. So you're going to see that button there. Please click in there. The second step is to register your account on the right side. So the system is going to prompt you this screen. And on the right side, it says, welcome, ready to register. That's where you're going to input your student's information, okay? You're going to add the account number without any space or dashes. You're going to add the student's or participant date of birth and then the zip code. Very important that you add the zip code that you use to register your student in the school district. That is the zip code that we do have in the system. And then you click next. And when you click next, the system is going to prompt you to read the program rules. So read and accept the program rules by clicking on the accept button. Next, you're going to go and create a username and a password. So you need to follow these rules very clearly, because if you don't follow these rules, then you're going to have a hard time creating a username and a password. So for a username, you input your email and create a username following these rules. So your username must be 8 to 38 characters. This must include at least one number. There are no special characters allowed, like the ones on the screen. No white space allowed, and username should be alphanumerical, okay? Once you're done with that, you create a password, but you also have to follow these rules. Your password must be different from your username. You must have between 6 to 32 characters. It must include 2 letters, 2 numbers, 1 uppercase and 1 lowercase. It must include 1 special character from the approved list. So contrary to the username, the password has to include 1 special character from the approved list, and they are shown in here as well. And it cannot have a space. So when you're done with that, the system will prompt you to answer the security questions, so you can choose them and answer them, and then click next. And then you click the login button to access your account. So the system will prompt you with this screen, congratulating you. You already, created a username and a password. So now you can go ahead and log in and click on that. When you click on the login button, you now have to go to the left side of your screen to access your student's account. So go to the left side, you now input your username that you just created, your password, and then click on login. And now you can view your students' total funds. Congratulations. So you will access to your student account. You will see your contributions, your total funds, and the incentives that you have earned with the program. If you're new to the program, if you just open your student account, the only thing that you're going to see is 15 incentives and total fund incentives, because that's what we put in your student's account. So congratulations. And then if you see on the top left, there is a circle on profile, a yellow circle. So that's where you're going to click. If you have other siblings in the school district that also have a K2C account, you don't need to register one by one. You can actually link their accounts on this student that you just registered. And we're going to learn now how to do that. So you click on profile, and then you're gonna see, I just put dark in here, but you will see the username, name, and the email. And then at the bottom where it says account, you can click on link account, and then you can add your other students here. So the system will prompt you again with this screen that says add participant. And you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to add the account number of the sibling, the sibling's date of birth, and again, the zip code. And then when you do that, boom, you just add the other student. And this other student is registered. And if he's registered for this first time as well, you're going to get a $20 credit to their account. And then you can see both accounts right here at the bottom. Again, they are just for privacy, we didn't put the names there, but you will see the name of the student, the account number, the total funds for each student. And then on the right side, when it says ineligible for account access, so for students that are 13 years or older, you actually can give them account access. So these two students don't have account access. What that means is that when a student is 13 years or older, they can go ahead and register themselves, and you can give them access to register, and then they can interact with their account. So when a student is 13 years or older, you are going to see eligible for account access, and then you will click on that grant access space. And the system is going to ask you, want to give your student access? And then you say yes, and you will just input the email of your student here, and we'll click send. One of the reminders here is that since your student is in SWSD and when they graduate, they are not going to have access to that email. So we ask parents to use the email, the personal email from your student rather than the SWSD email. Your student is going to be receiving an email to register and access their account. So it's going to look like this, and then they have to click in this link to register, and they are just going to do the same process. They're going to follow the same process that you did initially to register one student. And that's it. Your student can interact with their account. Great. So I'm going to actually launch a last poll before we continue. And let me just see. Okay, very simple question, and we just went through it, okay? So you should get it right. I can register one student and link other siblings' K2C accounts. Is this true or false? I'm going to repeat the question. I can register one student and link other siblings' K2C accounts. Is this true or false? Last chance to respond. I can register one student and link other siblings' K2C accounts. Is this true or false? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And it seems that all of you answered correctly. You can register one student and you can link other siblings' K2C accounts. Thank you for answering. Excellent. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, we're very excited because our first cohort of students that started with K2C are now seniors, and they are going to be graduating from SFUSD. So if you have a student that is a senior, and they have plans to go to college or any kind of post-secondary education, we're going to be paying them, what they have in their K2C account. We're going to disperse their funds. So congratulations. One of the things that your student has to do is to complete our intake form that is on our website. This is for SWSD seniors. They have to confirm their preferred payment method and their graduation plans. So they just have to let us know what their plans are to go. If they have to go to are going to a 4-year college, 2-year college, city college, any kind of vocational technical training, they have to let us know. So they can use these funds to cover higher education related expenses at schools, including, again, 4-year college, junior college, community college, trade vocational, post-secondary apprenticeship or training program. So please have your student filling out this form and they can contact us, if they have more questions. These are some examples, again, of higher education expenses that they can spend the money when they receive it. They can cover tuition and fees. They can buy supplies. They can buy books, pay for transportation, and other education-related expenses. So this is a presentation for today. I'm just quickly going to go through how to contact us slides. And, we're on social media. Before I open to questions, let me just go through these slides. We are on social media. You can follow us on Instagram at K2CSF or Facebook English at K2CSF. And we have also a Facebook Spanish at K2C Latino page. So please follow us. We also offer weekly office hours in English every Tuesday at 4 p.m. and Spanish at 9:30 a.m. So if you have specific questions or need any individualized support, you can join Zoom office hours. Please subscribe to our K2C YouTube channel. We have several tutorials in multiple languages. One of them is like the introduction to K2C, school year incentives, how to find your student's account, which is what we went through, and then how to register online to access your balance. We also have a newsletter, so please subscribe where we often post about program contests, workshops, and other updates. These are the ways that you can contact us. You can call 311 if you live in San Francisco or 415-701-2311 if you live outside of San Francisco. Go to our website. We have all the information about the program in our website, k2csf.org, and you can navigate it in different languages as well. You can always email us at k2c@sfgov.org. Okay, great. And then just a reminder, so we are, again, giving a $20 incentive for your participation in this meeting. This will be credited at the end of December to one of your students' account. You should be part of the first 100 registered participants and have attended this workshop to receive this incentive. And with that being said, I'm going to open the room for questions.
Thanks, Elisa. We have lots of questions in the chat, and some of these we've responded to as we've gone through the presentation, but we'll recap them as well. Apologies if we didn't get to you. We'll do our best to get to them by the end. And as Elisa highlighted, we'll be sure to follow up with any questions that you share by emailing k2c@sfgov.org. So we have gotten a couple questions. One initially was, what about TK? Are TK students able to have an account with K2C? Do you want to answer that one?
Sure. Yeah, TK students don't have an account with kindergarten to college. We open your student's account as soon as they start kindergarten. So you have to wait until your student is in kindergarten.
I also saw a comment from Amy earlier, and they asked or commented that they're getting a check errors message when they try to create an account or view their balance online. What would you recommend in that situation?
If you keep getting that error message, just make sure that you are including the right zip code, the right account number. If nothing of that works, then you can always give us a call or send us an email or join the Zoom office hours and we can support you.
These next two questions I can respond to. The first one is, do these accounts earn interest? And the answer to that is no. These accounts technically do not accrue any interest. We do have something that functions similarly called the growth incentive, which Elisa covered. You earn that based on having made contributions. So if you put in your own money, if you've made deposits, we will reward you in a way that functions like interest, but is technically not interest. We don't have any tax ID number for the parent or the student, so nothing is being reported to the IRS. And because there's no interest, we offer all of these different incentives that really encourage you saving or interacting with the account. When I say interact, I mean you're viewing your balance online, you're participating in one of our scholarship contests. Those are the ways that you can earn money in addition to the money that you put in. And then there was a couple comments and questions related to the equity incentive. I'm always happy to touch base with anyone that has feedback about the program or more detailed questions. As the program manager, you can email me. Just my first name, Mohan, period, my last name, Kanungo at sfgov.org. It's on the website. But our equity incentive campaign was a really special pilot that we had, thanks to funding from the state. It was targeting specific schools for a limited time period. It's something that we hope to be able to expand across the district by demonstrating success, but we are really targeted in that special opportunity. So we do open accounts for every student across the district with at least $50. The best way to show support and have the program grow and have those balances be even more is if you participate and can show that there's a lot of engagement and interest. Next question from Ryan, I see, is, are there annual contribution limits?
Yeah, so the program has life contribution limit of 35,000 total.
Yeah, and to expand on that, over the lifetime, you can only put in up to 35,000. We do contact you if we see that you have a balance of a couple $1,000s or more, because we want to encourage you to consider open what's called a 529 account. We didn't cover that today, but you actually have the opportunity to save with K2C alongside the state's 529 program called California Scholarshare. And so that really is just us encouraging you to move your balance over to Scholarshare so that you can grow that balance through different investment options over time. You can actually keep both types of accounts open though.
Are there any more questions? If someone wants to also raise their hand, we are happy to, you can ask the question. If you don't want to post it on the chat, let us know. Ala is here to support.
As we wait for anyone to raise their hand, please do so. We can unmute you. Just saw some comments as well by Reagan and Amy earlier about linking multiple students' accounts. And so we've shared the step-by-step guide in the chat. That's also on our website. But if you do experience technical issues and can't troubleshoot it successfully, I recommend emailing K2C at sfgov.org. You can call 311 or join Zoom office hours, but emailing and maybe giving a screenshot in detail of what you've experienced could help us diagnose the issue. And then I see a few people that already have their hands raised.
Hi, Sarah Urbina. Will you please unmute yourself? The unmute option is at the bottom left and you can speak. Thank you.
Yes, I have it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So my question is, my son had got an account a while back. So you guys are saying once he turns 13, which now he's actually 15, he's able to get access, and when will be the age that he can pull out money for school? Like until he got to go to college?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. Yeah, you can actually register your student and then give your student access. So he can actually interact with his account and see everything, right? When can he use the money? So if he graduates as a senior and he has plans to go to any kind of post-secondary education, that's when we are going to disburse the money for your student. So when he's about to graduate, all he has to do is fill out an intake form that we have on our website. Let us know about the plans that he has for for post-secondary education, and then how he wants to receive the money. And Mohan, feel free to expand on that.
Yeah, that's right. So you can actually visit the graduating SFUSD section of K2CSF.org to get a sense of the timeline and process for disbursement. So because these accounts are dedicated to college savings, the only instance where you can withdraw the funds before graduation is if you are experiencing a financial emergency and you really need to get those funds, and we do provide that option. Or if you leave the district, then we allow students to take that money out, the money that they've put in. The incentives will always stay there. Incentives meaning the $50 or anything we've awarded, those are going to stay there in the account for college. And the exception to that is if you do leave the district or you're in the district and you want to move money to a 529 account, then you can move the incentives over to a 529 at ScholarShare.
Awesome, got it. And I have another question. So my daughter is in the first grade, and I recall getting something, but when I go on the website to try to find her account, it says her account is unable to be found. So I did already go on the link with the DocuSign forms to find her account number. I guess my question would be, how would I be getting credit for this session if I don't even have an account number yet?
I can go ahead and answer that. So thanks for troubleshooting and using the Find My Account Number button. Thanks, I'm noticing now, Lisa, you're navigating to graduating SFUSD, which is great. And on our main website, if you go to K2CSF.org, we have a few easy buttons. Do you mind going to K2CSF.org? So that top part has a few of the things that you mentioned a moment ago. If you want to register and view your balance online, there's a button to click that goes to basically a portal that is managed by Citibank. And that's what our step-by-step guide goes through, but you'll need that account number even to view that balance online. And we can go back to the main page. Thanks for navigating. If you don't know your account number, you lost that letter in the mail, that's totally fine. You can use this lookup function. Sometimes when you click this and you input your student's info, the name that you spell, how you spell your name might be slightly different than how the district provided it to us and how we formatted it. Or if your zip code has changed, that might be a reason that it shows no result. So you can submit, if we go back, you can submit to get an account replacement card. That's this DocuSign form. We'll send you kind of like you got in the welcome kit, an actual card that has a number. But the fastest and easiest way is just to email us at k2c@sfgov.org. We can reply back, and that way you have a digital record of it as well. And for today's presentation, if you registered and provided your student's info, as much of that, like particularly your student ID and zip code and school, we can generally look that up on the back end. If for some reason you have any special circumstances, you can also email us. And just want to make sure we can get to some additional questions. I see at least 2 more hands raised.
Yeah, Winnie Shum, if you could unmute yourself, please, and you can ask your question.
Yeah, so I registered again like last year, because then like originally I registered like maybe like 5 years ago, and so right now I'm trying to log in again, and I forgot my user ID. So then later, you put in the information with the birthday and an account number and stuff, and you're supposed to get an email like with a reminder about your username and stuff, but I got nothing. So does that mean that my login is gone and I should reactivate and register again?
So usually sometimes it goes to the spam folder. So if you didn't get it in the spam folder, you can email us, let us know, and then what we can do is we can reset, so you can restart the process again to register online and create a new username and a password.
Okay, because yeah, I remember I did it last year because I joined one of these meetings again last year, and then but I just forgot the username. So, but yeah, it's not sending it to me. So I should just
Yeah,
like email you guys.
yes, just email us and then we'll
Okay.
help you reset it and you can restart the process again.
Okay, and then also, so then you said like if we join these meetings and then you get like $20 incentive. So if I have more than one kid, like both of them will get it, or is it just for the one that I registered to the meeting with, or what?
Yes, it's just for the one that you registered to the meeting. That's correct.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It seems that we also have Kayla. Kayla, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, hi, thank you for this call. So my older son had left left San Francisco, and I was able to take his account, but he's coming back. So will he still be able to, because he'll be in the 12th grade the next school year when he's back here in San Francisco. Will he still have that account, or do I?
Yes.
Is there-
So if he's coming back to the school district,
Mhm.
we are going to open a new account for your student. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
You know, at least I see a few questions in the chat, and sorry, we're doing our best to catch up on these related to, you know, I may not have provided my email or info when I registered for this workshop, or how do I know that I'll get $20? Do you mind just kind of recapping the timing and process? You know, will we send an email to folks to let them know that they've been awarded $20 or have an announcement somehow?
Yeah, so for the 100 first participants that registered for this workshop and that actually came to the workshop and stayed throughout the presentation, we're going to credit $20 into one of your students' K2C accounts. And we're going to do that by the end of December. It's going to be reflected into your student's K2C account. And we're going to, I guess the best way will be to email all those participants that received the credit into their K2C account. Probably that will be the best way.
Yeah, so we're definitely, I also saw some questions about, will we get a copy of the PowerPoint? We can include a copy of the PowerPoint. We will be doing this as well in Spanish on Thursday. So if you know of any Spanish speakers, please encourage them to join and register for Thursday. Or if you have families that, you know, weren't able to join, we'll have a recording of this as well. They won't be able to get, if they just watch it, they won't be able to get the $20, but we'll send a follow-up email to anyone who registered so that they can get the information and have that live on our website as well.
That's correct. And you're also going to receive other resources like the step-by-step guide that is going to show you step-by-step how you can register online as well.
So I hope that was helpful. I see Suk had that question and a few others. There was some questions as well I'm catching up on related to 529s and how to transfer your balance. So I saw some supportive parents maybe to each other clarifying that they were able to do that successfully, which is awesome, and how to do so. But I want to call out that we do have a dedicated section of our website. Lisa, if you don't mind navigating there and highlighting that, on the left side, we have a section called Save with a 529. And
Sure.
that breaks it down how, if you're in the district or you're leaving the district, what are your options to move that balance? So we have different forms online there that you can use, and we also overview how, what is a 529 account? What are those benefits?
Yeah, definitely. So as Mohan mentioned, we have a Save with a 529. So you can click on this section. And so if your student moves outside of the district, or you want to have both accounts open, 529 Scholarshare and K2C, you can do that as well. So we are partnering with a 529 Scholarshare account, which is the California option. We encourage families with higher balances, as Mohan mentioned earlier. Our students in early graduation might be especially interested in this opportunity. So some of the benefits are that, there is additional investment choices with higher rates of return based on your risk tolerance. There is growth on earnings and qualified withdrawals for your federal and state income tax. And then they have a 2022 matching grant up to 2025 for lower income Californians that can qualify and act quickly to open accounts. So there is a lot of information here that you can find on how to open a 529 scholar share. They also have a Spanish specific site. There is a video of showing a step-by-step of how to open the account. Then again, if your student left the district, we're going to close your student's K2C account, but you have the option to open the 529 scholar share, and we will transfer all your students' incentives earned and contributions. So the advantage really is that you won't lose your incentives earned with K2C. So this is, there are two forms. There is one for students that are enrolled in SFUSD and for those that left the district and are no longer enrolled. And again, you also have the option to keep both accounts open, continuing earning incentives with K2C, and then have another 529 scholar share for other benefits. And yeah, so in the future, we're also going to have a portal that can connect your K2C account with the California 529 scholar share account. Feel free to expand on that, Mohan.
No, I think that was great. And yeah, I want to make sure that we can answer any questions, any doubts, anything that you're unclear about. Happy to go back to earlier slides or something you may have heard or have been curious about. So same question applies. If you would like to unmute yourself, just raise your hand. We can allow you to pose your question to the group. If you have something you've been wondering about, it's probably helpful for somebody else. So don't feel shy. I did see a couple of questions. Not sure if I'm reading it right, but one was maybe, is there an ATM card? And so, we don't issue an ATM card for these accounts. Really, the way that you interact with the account is by viewing the balance online or making a deposit into the account, and then we will send you communication every 6 months, as Elisa highlighted, that breaks down your balance. You can, when it comes to withdrawing funds, you're going to submit a request either before graduation because your student has left a district or you want to move the balance to a 529, or you're going to actually submit a request to withdraw the funds because your student's graduating and they're ready to use the money. So at that time, we can issue a prepaid card to the student if they are ready to use the money for college. But we also offer different disbursement channels via Zelle, so we can do a transfer directly to a bank account. We can also transfer funds in that case to Scholar Share. So if your student has a really high balance, maybe with K2C, yeah, I saw a question earlier, if my student's a junior, should I go ahead and move it to a 529? You can, but you don't have to. If you don't think you're going to use the funds right away for that first year of college and you have a high balance, that might be a reason you want to move the funds at the graduation time to a 529. We don't have that ATM option to like go in and make deposits at an ATM, but as Lisa highlighted, there's 4 different deposit channels. We can drop in the link again, and that includes being able to go into a Citibank branch in San Francisco and making a deposit with cash or money order or a check.
That's correct. Thank you, Mohan. Are there any other questions before we conclude? Well, it seems that everybody is ready to conclude. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. We again are going to, just to repeat, we're going to be allocating a $20 credit if you were among the first 100 registered for this workshop and you actually participated in the workshop. So thank you so much again for being here, and please do not hesitate to contact us if you have more questions, okay? We are here to support you.
And I see one last question, maybe from Boris. Last year's match incentives were pretty nice. We had a $10 match for up to 10 deposits. So yeah, that was a really special, because we were at our anniversary celebration time, that we could offer that. And as you can imagine, we have to fundraise every year for these incentives. So when we offer them, that's why we want to make sure you can take advantage of it. They're really time bound, time limited, as funds remain available. So don't leave money on the table. That's the message we hope you can take away from today. Make sure that you make at least a deposit of $20 if you can. If you can't make a deposit right away, view your balance. And all of those are separate from just, participating in today's workshop. We have amazing contests, art and poetry contest, virtual tours that you can do, ways that you can earn really high amounts throughout the school year, in addition to some of these incentives that we've highlighted today.
That's right. And just a reminder that you can sign up or register in our newsletter. Just make sure to do that, because we often post about contests, workshops, or other ways you can stay engaged with the program. Any other questions, Mohan?
We have a couple questions that came in about how will we know. So I think when we
Mm.
will have probably an email that's separate from maybe just our follow-up email to those who registered, that will go out maybe in a few weeks' time, that lets you know that your account has been awarded $20. So that'll be a separate email. If there's any special cases, you can always reach out to us. Don't worry too much. We'll ask you to just be a little bit patient, but we can mostly figure it out if you did register and give us some information, and we can always troubleshoot a special case. I think everyone who's here today, we'll likely be able to award an incentive to.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for attending tonight. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we're here again to support you. Feel free to contact us, okay, if you have more questions or need more support. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.